Good evening. We are watching Parliament Television. We cross back to Wesley Nyirenda Committee Room for continued live proceedings of the Parliamentary Select Committee that has been appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 27, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025.
Let's call the meeting to order. Honorable Kandafula, Honorable Kambita. Witness. Witness, we welcome you to the Parliamentary Select Committee appointed to scrutinize Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7 of 2025. We take note, witness, you are a member of Parliament for Kamfinsa, and today you appear as Mr. Christopher Kangombe, and we belabor not to introduce ourselves since we all know each other, being serving in the same house. Witness, let me take this opportunity to confer you with immunity, Cap 12, which gives you immunity from prosecution, as you already enjoy when you make your submissions before the floor of the House. Witness, you are guided to make your submission, focusing on the salient features that you seek to indulge the committee on. You may proceed, witness.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. May I thank the committee for allowing me to make submission to this committee on Constitutional Bill number 7. As you have already indicated, I'm a member of Parliament, Engineer Christopher Kangombe. Chair, I'll begin my submission on the particular clauses that I think are appearing in the bill, which in my view raises very important concerns. And I want to be put on record that a constitutional making process is not a process for parliamentarians, but it's a process for the citizens, now and in the future. So it must be a very forward-looking document, Chair. Chair, Clause 3, and I hope you have a copy of Bill number 7. If you go to Clause 3 of the bill, Clause 3 is proposing that members of a political party, Chair, that wish to contest as independent parliamentary candidates in the month of August should have resigned 2 months before nomination day. That is what Clause 3 is proposing. Chair, my proposal is that Article 51, which is the current provision in the current constitution, Chair, that article is enough, and I think it should not be amended, and it should be maintained, because it allows members of a political party to be given the option of resigning from their party if not adopted, to later contest as independent candidates. Chair, I think that this is a submission that I start with today because it affects the rights of a citizen to be able to contest in an election. I hope that submission is very clear. Submission number 2, Chair, if you go to the Constitution Amendment Bill, the first page, Chair, there is Object A. Now, if you read Object A, it makes reference to the actualization of a delimitation report, meaning there's a report somewhere. Now, this report needs to be actualized according to Object A of the memorandum. So this is the document which was gazetted, and it has got Object A. Chair, according to Object A on the first page, as published through the Gazette notice, the amendment seeks to repeal and replace Article 68 in order to revise the composition of the National Assembly so as to actualize the delimitation report. Chair, my submission. My proposal is that in line with Object A, the delimitation report and the list of proposed constituencies to be divided should be published for public scrutiny. And for your benefit, Chair, and for the benefit of the members that are gathered here, I'm aware that in 2019 there was a report that was submitted to His Excellency the President at that time, and there's been a revision of that report. Unfortunately, no one has seen that report, the revised report. So, Chair, we cannot proceed with discussing this particular matter without people knowing exactly what are we amending, what are we adding. Is it Mwinilunga constituency? Is it Kamfinsa? What is the criteria? I think that it will be important for the benefit of the members of the public, beyond all of us, that this particular report should be published. Between now and I think it's Monday, a document can be made available to the public so that they know exactly what is in the report. It's for the benefit of the people that we represent for this period that has been accorded to us. Chair, very quickly, Clause 9. Again, if you go to Clause 9, Chair, under Clause 9 of the bill, there's a proposal, Bill 7 is proposing that we change the wording to Article 72. So there's already Article 72 in our current laws of Zambia. So the proposal is that we need to change the wording under Article 72 to deal with what disqualifies you as a candidate. So the current law says it can only be the Constitutional Court apart from other disqualifications. Bill 7 is proposing that the Constitution disqualifies you, which is totally vague, very unclear. When you say the Constitution disqualifies you, disqualifying you, which context, which provision? So my submission, Chair, on Clause 9 is that I do not support this proposal because it takes away the mandate of the Constitutional Court. I happen, Chair, and I want to be put on record again, I happen to have been subjected to a parliamentary petition, High Court, and finally Constitutional Court. It is the Constitutional Court that confirmed that I was duly elected. Now, if you go to Article 72, 5, 6, and 7, there is reference to a Constitutional Court. So you can't just amend, you can't just introduce Clause 9, ignoring the fact that the entire Article 72 further talks about this very important court, the Constitutional Court. So for the benefit of this committee, I think that Article 72 should be looked at, maintained in its current form. If someone wants to be disqualified for whatever reason, let the Constitutional Court be the final court of appeal. And I think that this is a very important submission which should be taken care of, because it's not about which political party you belong to. Circumstances occur that someone wants to be heard by a court. The High Court can't be the final court of appeal. The Constitution of Zambia provides for the Constitutional Court. So in other words, Chair, for clarity's sake, my submission is that we maintain Article 72 without any amendment. Article Clause 11. Chair, if you go to Clause 11, Clause 11 of Bill 7 is introducing a new provision, which provision seeks to amend and repeal Article 81. So if you go to Article 81 in the current Constitution, there's already a provision called Article 81. Now, this Bill 7 under Clause 11 is introducing a new provision to give powers to the president of a country, the Republican president, to dissolve parliament. And there are reasons why the dissolution should happen. According to this clause, it's saying to dissolve parliament if the executive cannot effectively govern the republic due to the failure of the National Assembly to objectively and reasonably carry out its legislative function. My submission is that I don't support this provision because it lacks clarity on what constitutes objectivity and reasonableness, because these are subjective terms. What may be objective in my context may not be the same understanding for Honorable Kambita or Honorable Kandafula. What could be reasonable maybe different aspirations. So for me, I think that we don't need to empower the office of the Republican President, not an individual, the office, to have the authority to be able to dissolve Parliament, other than what is currently in the law. Chair, that is my submission under Clause 11. So I don't support Clause 11, and I hope that the committee will pick the submission. You wanted to seek a clarification?
Yes, just sorry, before you proceed, Honorable Member, just for the record, so that we are on the same page. This Article 81 already exists in the Constitution. The President already has powers to dissolve Parliament, except that in its current form, he doesn't even need a reason which is specific as being provided for here. He just needs to refer the matter to the court. So I just wanted to be clear that you understand that it already exists as a provision, and that when such dissolution of Parliament is done, I think within 90 days there must be a general election. So just to be on the same page that...
I'm guided, Chair.
Yeah, I just want to know if we're on the same page. Thank you.
Thank you. I've looked at 81 and I'm guided. So, Chair, if you go to... so I'll skip that submission and go to Clause 16. Chair, if you go to Clause 16, the bill is proposing that MPs in a district should be part of the composition of the council. Currently, we have Article 153, so Clause 16 is asking that we amend Article 153 to accommodate this proposal. Now, I'll start with a challenge of oversight, challenge of accountability. We normally summon these local authorities. I've been in the Committee of Local Governance, I think, for almost 2 years. I'm aware that they've been appearing before another committee on accounts, where they are able to, where they are guided on aspects of how to account for the money they are using. So imagine a scenario where I am a member of a local authority, and the same local authority has to come and appear before this committee. So who holds who accountable? My understanding is that we have a role at Parliament, and our role is to ensure that we hold accountable these particular institutions called local authorities. So my first submission is that, as opposed to members of Parliament sitting in the council, where we actually have to summon them and come and appear before us, I would suggest that there will be no need for us to be asked to sit in the local authority as councillors again, because now we have to change the meaning of a councillor. Once you are a member of a council, it means that you are also a councillor, at the same time a member of Parliament. Chair, for the record, this was tried before, and I want to indicate, for the benefit of those that may not be familiar with what used to happen, I think that in most cases we could not get the right level of attendance from members of Parliament. At that time, 2006, a member of Parliament was also a member of the council. As you are aware, January we are adjourning, councils are also adjourning, so the only opportunity they have is when Parliament is not sitting, but that is when councils are also not sitting. So there was always a challenge of attendance. How do I make myself available for a parliamentary committee meeting, and how do I also make myself available for a committee at the council back in Kitwe or Mwinilunga? So my submission is that we maintain the status quo, no need to amend Article 153. Can we allow councils to have councillors who are elected in wards together with the council chairperson, and then let the rest of us who are parliamentarians perform our oversight role, our role to summon them and hold them accountable. And lastly, Chair, just a summary on that submission. I feel that it defeats the purpose of decentralization and goes against the principles of accountability, which I've already referred to. Chair, lastly, Clause 17, the issue to do with term of office for those who are elected as mayors and council chairpersons. Currently, the law provides for a limit of 2 terms, which is 5 years each. Chair, my submission is that leadership as we serve it is an opportunity not only to serve the people, but also to grow in leadership. So 10 years is enough growth for someone to begin offering themselves a leadership role that is different from that particular level. For me, I think that we need to maintain the limit of 2 terms for a person who is elected as a mayor, or a council chairperson. There is no need to amend Article 154, which has been amended, which has been proposed for amendment under Clause 17. So, Chair, those are my submissions. Thank you.
Thank you, witness, Honorable Mr. Christophe Kangombe, who is also Honorable Kangombe. We may have just two interactions, I think, because the submission is clear, it's straight to the point. There's I don't know what to be interrogating then. Honorable Mungandu.
Chair, yes, this is a good submission from our honorable member, Honorable Kangombe. I have 2 points of clarification, sir. The first one is you've highlighted Clause 3 in Bill 7 that proposes a member of the party that wish to contest as independents should resign 2 months before the nomination day. Yeah. Another issue that you've mentioned is the delimitation. Should this be attended to? I know you are a member of parliament. I'll ask you a very explicit question. Should this be attended to? Will you be able to support the bill 100%? Then the final one is on the return members of parliament returning to councils. You've given reasons why you feel members of parliament should not return to councils. One among them, Chair, is that the oversight overlapping role where councils appear before oversight committees here. Would you clarify? Is it the councillors that appear before the oversight committees here, or it is? I know it's a committee on local government accounts now, mostly, or indeed it's the staff, technical staff that run the councils. I think since I said 2, you said time. I'll end here.
Honorable member. No, it's us who are here, so we can still be here until the next 2 hours. You can proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. A short one. Chair, mine is also on the members of parliament sitting in the council. Chair, don't you think that to have one platform of development in the council is better? Because the current situation that the people of Zambia should know, that the member of parliament sits in the CDF committee looking at 40 million, which the councillors themselves, like a small council like Chasefu, where there is no revenue, they don't discuss anything because there is no money to disbase. The development is centered on CDF, and CDF, they are not members apart from those elected. Don't you think that this idea, bringing the MPs into one platform, would enhance a collaboration and the systematic way of champion development? Or we leave the councils on their own, CDF committee on its own? Or we want to take CDF, then MP away from CDF, so that this is the only money for the councils? Would you say that?
Chair, can I proceed?
Proceed, the honorable member, and please give your closing remarks on that note.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So I'll start with the submission from Honorable Mungandu. Honorable Mungandu, you are aware that there's a process which a constitution amendment goes through. I think it's provided for under Article 79. We will allow that process to proceed. I think that various stakeholders have raised concerns. If you wanted me to discuss the entire document, I would have taken a lot of time, but I picked out issues which I think some of the witnesses have not been able to raise, and that is why I limited myself to the particular clauses. Let me also indicate that, and I want to be on record, that I have suggested 7 amendments to the bill, and I've already written the Clerk of the National Assembly, which clauses will then be debated on the floor. So we can't start discussing issues that have not yet been considered in line with Article 79 of the Republican Constitution. I also wanted to comment on as a response to the question that was asked regarding the issue to do with whether we should allow councillors councils to also accommodate members of parliament as a way of enhancing collaboration. If you followed my submission, I did not discuss the personality issue, because there are personalities where people just fail to work together. But for me, I established the principle. The principle is that whether I am enjoying a good working relationship with my councillor or not, if the principle is that my role is oversight, I think that my role should remain oversight. If the role of a councillor with the mayor is to come up with policies at a local level, the principle then is that at that level they will make the decisions, and then someone has to provide oversight. So to correct the position that was suggested, that why can't we allow them back in the council, I don't want to go into the history of that bad policy, but I'll tell you for a fact that we had cases where a local authority makes a decision, not just in Kitwe, but I think in different places. Then a member of parliament who hasn't attended any meeting in 6 months will attempt to reverse a very important decision that was made. So in my view, I think that oversight is very critical. Who appears before a committee of parliament? Definitely it's the council secretary or the town clerk. But who does he represent? They represent the council. The council is the people that make decisions. So it's semantics, it's technicalities, but the principle is the same. Do we allow a person holding you accountable to be part of the decision? Who holds who accountable? That for me is the principle. What was the other question, if there was any which I've missed out?
No, there's no other
Closing
question.
remarks.
You can, if you have any closing remarks, we can.
Well, my closing remarks, Chair, I want to indicate that a constitutional making process, Honorable Chair, and also for the benefit of the committee that is attending to this matter, a constitutional making process is for the people. And because it's for the people, we must always detach ourselves from the provisions. And for me, I've tried to set the tone for, is this principle a good principle? No, it's not a good principle. Can it be cleaned up to ensure that it speaks to the aspirations of the people? And that is for me my demand. And I hope that the committee will pay attention not only to my submissions, Chair, but also the submissions of many other stakeholders. I will be looking forward to debate in Parliament on the 7 clauses that I've submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Christopher Kangombe. We thank you most sincerely for appearing before this committee. We do not take it for granted that you have taken time outside your normal legislative function to cascade to committee level. It shows the commitment you place on.
I haven't even had lunch today.
Indeed. So we commend you for that commitment, and your submissions form part of our report. We wish you well and would like to lift the immunity that we conferred. See you.
Good evening. Thank you very much for still staying with us on Parliament Television. That was Engineer Christopher Kangombe, Member of Parliament for Kamfinsa, who was making his submission to the Parliamentary Select Committee that has been appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. So submissions to the committee will still continue for this evening. And the last to make a submission is the Minister of Justice, who we expect to close submissions for today. And remember that the Honorable Madam Speaker did announce earlier on in the House that members of Parliament and the members of the public were free to make their submissions this afternoon and part of the evening. And so we cross back the floor we cross back to Wesley Nyirenda Committee room.
Mr. Shulazu, witness, you're welcome to the Parliamentary Select Committee in your capacity as a citizen of this country. Witness, you may be guided to just perhaps introduce yourself, though I've already mentioned your name. Perhaps want to, or maybe you speak to your submission, I can allow the honored members to speak to introduce themselves. Okay, Mike. Yeah. Okay, thank you. First of all, Chair and honorable members, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to be here. My name is Edwin Shulazu. I come here as a citizen of this country, and though I heard some negative comments from the honorable member, nobody has organized anybody. I'll tell you that my first presentation before Parliament was 1999. Here. Order witness, I think perhaps you may not have heard correctly. The honorable member was referring to a management issue of organizational preparation in terms of how witnesses are coming in, and not in specific witness. It was an administrative conversation, but nonetheless, witness, I'll allow the honorable members to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Mr. Zulu. I'm Jacqueline Sabao, Member of Parliament for Chikankata constituency. I'm the Vice Chairperson of this committee. Through you, Chair, I would declare interest. Mr. Zulu was my workmate during my youth time at COMESA headquarters. Yeah, so thank you.
Good evening, witness. My name is Veso Sefloka Koma. I'm a Member of Parliament for Mondi constituency in the Western Province and a member of the Select Committee. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Zulu. I'm Jonathan Daka, Member of Parliament for Jadiza constituency in Eastern Province and also a member of the Select Committee. You are most welcome.
Good evening, witness. I am Sbongile Mwamba. I represent the people of Kasama Central constituency. You're most welcome. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Shula Zulu. You are most welcome to the Select Committee. My name is Muvita Anakoka. I'm Member of Parliament for Luena constituency. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Zulu. As the Chair, I'm sure you heard me talking, Mr. Zulu. My name is Mungandu Davison. I represent the people of Chama South constituency in Eastern Province. Oh, perfect. In Chama. Okay, so what I meant there are people who have clients that have sat there from morning
Point of order.
No, Chair. I just want to.
No. We've guided the witness.
Good evening, sir. Samoga Newton, Mwinilunga constituency.
The honorable member has just walked in.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good evening, witness. My name is Brian Kambita, Member of Parliament for Zambezi East constituency, a member of this select committee.
Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Zulu, you're welcome. My name is Sanford Mwinde from the Office of the Clerk.
Witness, let me confer you with immunity as provided for under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which gives you immunity to provide your submission without facing persecution, possible persecution. You are guided not to mislead this committee. Witness, I am Imango Mnyima, Member of Parliament for Nalolo constituency, and the chairperson of this select committee. Witness, you are guided to make your submission. I would like to guide that you summarize the preambles and go straight to speaking to your comments on the proposed amendments, considering that we have some engagements pending. So I would like to take cognizance that we can start from page 2, or where it says critical analysis of high risk clauses. Mr. Witness, I guide that you proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, grateful to be here, and I've been coming here to this house for so many years, and I'm happy to mention that my presentation as entitled, it basically speaks to the some of my perceived overreaching constitutional and democratic concerns. Among them is Zambia as a country through the years has had traditional norms of basically administering the constitutional amendments, and I think we see from the Mwanakato Constitution Commission, Mungomba Constitution, and of course the NCC. But all these processes were extensive, transparent, and nationwide, and also multilingual and citizen driven. So what is critical in the constitution process is for the people. It should be driven by the people. And having said that, by contrast, Bill 7 has been characterized by rushed timelines, absence of national consensus. Consensus building is a critical aspect for transforming or changing or amending the laws of this country, more especially the constitution. And also lack of local language translation, written translations, and also we have not seen the government white paper, but also very important, insufficient engagement of civil society, traditional leaders and professional bodies and ordinary citizens. Having said that, what we have seen, Chair, is name calling, and which is not healthy.
The order, witness. You are guided to stick to the objects of the bill. The general happenings around the bill, as you are beginning to state, may not be within our mandate to listen to. Our mandate basically is to scrutinize your submissions.
Yes.
I'm giving guidance.
Yes.
Our mandate is to scrutinize the bill based on your submission on specific clauses of the bill. So issues of process, you've given your preamble, the committee has indulged. We may need to get to the specific, so that we address other witnesses as well. We guide that you proceed.
Okay, so basically I'll go to A, and A talks about the expansion of constituent seats from 156 to 211, and this risks politically engineered delimitation. And what we needed in this process of delimitation, we needed consensus, extensive discussion around which are these proposed constituencies.
Order witness, there's a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Zulu. This select committee is a mini parliament. Therefore, all the rules that are applicable in the House also apply here. Anything that you say is put on record. I want to find out, you've said politically engineered delimitation. Would want, because we're interacting with you, we're also interacting with the nation, with application of the rules of information being given should be factual and verifiable. Are you in a position to tell us that the delimitation that is being done or proposed is politically engineered? Our understanding as lawmakers, this is derived from the Constitution. Or do you have a report to show that, because we are interested, we are representing you, we are interested to know that indeed the limitation that is being done is politically engineered. We are concerned with what you've just reviewed as your representatives. I seek your serious ruling, Chair.
Witness, you're guided. If you can demonstrate before this committee that what is being proposed in Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7 is politically engineered delimitation. If you have evidence to that effect, you are free to submit.
Chair, thank you. I'd like to mention, first of all, in my statement, it's very clear. I'm saying it's a perception. Okay? And it's very important to this House and also government that we avoid perceptions by making sure that we are transparent in the way processes are done.
A point of order, Chairperson.
Proceed.
The witness needs to be guided a little further that this House is a house of facts and not of perceptions. That's why you see, even when we debate, there are rules of debate. So when you are making a submission, you make a submission based on facts other than on perception, because perception is a subject of debate, further debate, which you can't prove. You can't, because that's your opinion. Another person will have a different opinion. The debate is endless. But here we are scrutinizing a bill that is before the House, which has 13 objects, and we have allowed you to come here to submit to us on the 13 objects, and you were written to, and the objects are very clear, in order for you to comment on the objects of the bill. Now, if you go ultra vires, it becomes difficult for us to benefit from your submission. Another forum on TV or anywhere else other than Parliament, you can take the discussion on that trajectory, but not here at Parliament.
Okay. For guidance, witness, you are guided. Stick to the substantive submissions, only clauses, not what you feel is the perception or what you feel is the risk. the substantive substantive comments in terms of ramifications of the bill, as was the invitation to members of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. For example, they increased the taxpayers' burden without justification. This tax, you realize that this proposed increase will be costing the nation not less than 20 million per year. And that 20 million per year, I will share with you that it has capacity to give us not less than 365 teachers employed. The same amount has capacity to give us not less than 476 nurses employed. The same can also help us improve clean water by providing not less than between 1,000 to 1,400 plus boreholes. Vaccinations, this can help us have 13,000 plus children vaccinated. So when you look at these issues, I've not included that. I have a separate sheet which has this, so I have facts and calculations. So it's very important, and this I'm talking of the recurrent costs, salaries, allowances, and utilities.
We will unfortunately, as a committee, we will struggle to follow you if you've submitted something different and are speaking to a different document. So we need to speak to what you're reading. All those facts you're bringing up, where are they? Where are they written in your document?
Chair. No.
Where are you? Are you on C or F? We have your document. Where are you?
Chair, I'm on point 3 of A. Increased taxpayer burden without justification. So now those are the details, the figures I'm mentioning. Okay? What it translates, if we have 55 MPs increased on it, those are the costs it will give you. Those calculations can be done. Okay? So that's what I mean. But having said that, the introduction of the mixed member proportional representation, you can see what happened just last week in South Africa. The MK party, they had a situation where the Zuma's daughter was involved in some scandals. And what happened? We find that the Zuma party had to easily, instead of going back to election because that person has resigned, they had to choose somebody to come there. But what we're saying, we need powers of election in the hands of the people, not political parties. And I think that's one issue that Zambia should look at. And you've seen how they easily recall their members through their political parties in South Africa. So that's not a model that Zambia should look at. Having said that, this can open a path for patronage and manipulation, but also it undermines constituency-based accountability because it's more now party-driven, you see. But also does not follow, for example, the Rwanda or Namibians community-led models. So I think we need community-led models in terms of these processes. But also the removal of by-elections for MPs, mayors and councillors. This is one of the most dangerous provisions. Why? Because it removes citizens' right to elect their leaders. The cost is not an issue. What is important is to have powers in the hands of the people. But also very important, parties gain power to recall and replace leaders at will. So if somebody is not just in good sitting or standing with political leadership, somebody can easily be recalled. You remember that time in Zambia when we had the MPs, mayors being elected within the chamber. What used to happen is that when somebody is not in good sitting with the president, they will just mobilize people to vote against themselves. And that's how this law was changed, to make sure that mayors are elected. And I think we cannot go back to such a situation. So it's very important. But also, does not, very important also, citizens lose sovereignty, authority, which we have. I think this time around, though it takes 5 years, but it gives us the power to control, should be our leader. So also very important, presidential power to dissolve parliament. This is something even earlier during Bill 10 we spoke against, and I think it's important. This, when you look at the basic principles of parliament and
witness, you are guided, that provision already exists. The provision already exists. The president can dissolve parliament and refer the matter, the basis of his dissolution, to the Constitutional Court, and it's determined within 7 days, and within 90 days of which the country goes into a general election. So on that submission, you are guided not to mislead the committee.
I'll go straight to E, prohibition of parliamentary and council sittings 90 days before elections. This removes legislative oversight during a sensitive electoral period, but also creates risks of abuse of state resources, leaves citizens without representation when it matters more. So it's important that we maintain that, but also removal of term limits for mayors. This enables entrenchment of partisan control and also dangerous precedents that can spread to MPs or even to the presidency. So we cannot go that route, because in the long term these has chances of being abused. And also the MPs sitting in local councils. You remember those days when MPs sat in in councils. You realize that we had a lot of challenges, and also you have concentration of political power there, and also politicize the local governance. It would undermine CDF accountability. I'm happy to mention that, Chair, I've handled the issues of the CDF as far back as 1997, and we, even at the time, we had to relook at the challenges CDF implementation was facing at that time, and we debated and changed some rules at that time. So it's something I'm very familiar with for a long time. But also very important is previously rejected in the processes in Mungomba and NCC commissions. Another issue I would like to go straight away is the proposal on the Attorney General and Solicitor retention after elections. This risks politicized legal transition and also controls legal advice to incoming administrations and compromises neutrality. We can learn from America. That's why in America you see that after the change of government, all politically appointees are basically replaced with a new team. And I think it's to make sure that the new team works with a new vision and a new direction. So as a country we cannot go to that. So having said that, Chair, I would like to say that my perceived process failures or violations of constitutional norms are, though you are saying no to this, the issue, but I would like to bring it on record, Chair.
Witness order, you've already brought it on record.
Okay.
You
Fine.
have adequately submitted.
Thank you.
Objects of the bill.
So
unless if there's a clause that you've left.
Well, I would like to mention in conclusion, Chair, that to make special recommendation to this select committee and parliament, that we need to avoid the legal challenges like we have seen this bill has already been going through, and also public tension. You see that as a country we are more divided than we were yesterday, unless we want to pretend. And I think it's very important. And as you sit here, the number of people that are personally in my different life I've worked with for many years. I've been a friend of, I'm one of the great contributors to government policy for the last 31 years at different levels. And so if we don't handle well these issues, it takes us to where we become more divided as a country. And I would like to mention that when we voted our government, it was with a lot of expectation.
Order. Witness.
Yes.
We are a select committee.
Yes.
Our mandate is restricted to scrutinizing the bill. So your political views don't take shape in this committee, unfortunately.
Okay.
So witness, with that said, I would like to allow for interaction if there is any. Honorable Daka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Witness, I've followed your submission keenly, and my observation or my point of clarification is general.
Yes, please.
I heard you say that the cost of by-election, I heard you say that you are okay with the cost of by-election.
Yes, yes.
Because it retains citizens' right to choose their leaders.
Indeed.
And if I've heard you rightly, you have said you are uncomfortable with the cost of increasing the constituencies.
Yes.
I would like you to shed more light on this, because increasing the number of constituencies, to me, triggers development. The cost of by-election basically is a liability. Just as we have indicated that monies which are supposed to go towards the limitation, you propose that it can go towards development, like boreholes, what and what. You mentioned so many things,
yes,
but
yes.
like for me, with the current model that the current government has embarked on of CDF,
yes,
the limitations means more amount going to the constituencies for development, unlike monies going towards by-election, which is basically liability. So now I want to find out, before you arrive at your conclusion that the money is meant to go towards the limitation is a waste for expenditure. To me, did you take time to analyze this whole thing with regards to conducting a cost-benefit analysis?
Excellent.
To see what kind of benefits are coming to the citizens with regards to this additional constituency? Did you take time? Because for me, it's very clear. Money is going towards by-election is a liability. It's not bringing any development. I'm sure you agree with me. But monies which are going to go towards the limitation, there's an element of development that this delimitation is coming with. So to me, did you pay attention to conduct a cost-benefit analysis so as for you to arrive at your decision or at your conclusion to say it's better by-elections than delimitation? Mr. Chairperson, I submit. Thank you.
Witness, respond to that question and give your closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to mention that, first of all, we need to understand what's the role of an MP. An MP has no capacity to deliver development. An MP's role is to produce and come up, initiate and pass progressive laws. That's the duty of an MP. number one. Number two, an MP's role is to provide checks and balances on the executive to see, so that's very important.
But what's your point?
Mr. Chairperson, I didn't make a mention about MPs. I talked about the limitation. It bringing more CDF funding to the constituencies. I never touched a member of parliament. I said the limitation. Bringing more CDF funding, because for instance, we had one constituency. These constituencies become, you double the number of constituencies, which means you are doubling their management for development for that particular district. So my question was very specific. Did you conduct a cost-benefit analysis of the expenses which are associated that will come with this delimitation against the benefits to the citizen? This is my question.
Yes. I think, Chair, because of that, I'll submit this paper which illustrates and it speaks to everything in detail.
Okay.
Yes, because this mentions everything, summarizes everything that I was speaking to. So, Chair, I submit this too. So this is very important, Chair. I would like to mention and also caution that your role here is very critical. Our life, the future of Zambia is sitting in your hands, and what you do here, and also you do as a good, you do good to this country. If you bring out other issues, there are certain issues because of what you have been guided to work on, that, but you know, you have read what has been submitted, which you may say no, according to this. It's important you bring to the attention to the powers that be. I think that's very important. So, Chair, I'm very grateful, and I will remain a contributor to this country, as I've always done. This country has done great things in my life. Honorable Sabao, we come a long way, and including Honorable Kakubo, who is not here. We come a long way. We've done great things around this country and across the region. So I remain a friend of this country. Thank you.
Witness, we thank you for appearing before this committee, and we would like to lift the immunity conferred on you, and wish you well as you continue executing your duties in your personal capacity as a citizen, and we do not take for granted your submission before this committee. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you very much for still being with us on Parliament Television. That was a submission from a private citizen, Mr. Shula Zulu, and submitting to the Parliamentary Select Committee appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025, which is still meeting to receive submissions from different stakeholders. And the meeting still continues, and later on we expect the Minister of Justice to appear before the committee and make her submissions to the Select Committee. So keep watching Parliament Television. Good evening.
Witness, you are welcome before this select committee, Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7 of 2025 Select Committee, appointed by the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly. Witness, you are free to introduce yourself, and the honorable members can thereafter introduce themselves, then Secretariat in that order, and then we can proceed to your submission.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Ezekiel Mwape from Emersdale, plot number F737, Bimbe Road.
Good evening, Mr. Mwape. I'm Jacqueline Sabao, Member of Parliament for Jigankata constituency. I'm the Vice Chairperson of this Select Committee. You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, witness. My name is Simon Banda, Member of Parliament for Petauke Central. Thank you.
Good evening, witness. Daka Jonathan is my name, representing the good people of Chadiza constituency in Eastern Province. You are most welcome.
Good evening. George Kasavira Kandafura, Member of Parliament, Serenje. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mwape. I am Spongile Mwamba. I represent the people of Kasama Central constituency. You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good evening, Mr. Ezekiel King Mwape. My name is Brian Kambita, Member of Parliament for Zambezi East constituency in Northwestern Province.
My name is Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose. I represent the people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province and a member of the committee. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mwape, and you're welcome to the Select Committee. Muvita Anakoka is my name, Member of Parliament for Luena constituency in Western Province. Thank you, Chair.
Good evening, Mr. Ezekiel King Mwape. Mungandu Davison is my name. I represent the people of Chama South constituency in Eastern Province. You are welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mwape. My name is Newton Samakai, Mwinlonga constituency.
Mr. Mwape, you're welcome. My name is Sanford Mwinde from the Office of the Clerk.
Mr. Mwape, I'm Imanga Mnyema Jr., Member of Parliament for Nalolo constituency in Western Province and the Chairperson of this Select Committee. Witness, let me take this opportunity to confer you with immunity as provided for under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which gives you immunity from prosecution for what you say before this honorable committee. Witness, you are guided to make your submission and to go straight to your comments on the bill in the best summarized format that will allow you to give full expression of your concerns of the ratification of this constitutional amendment bill. Witness, you are free to make your submission.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I respect this submission. I respectfully submit this representation to the Parliamentary Committee in accordance with the procedures that allow citizens to provide views on the bill before the National Assembly as a concerned citizen of the Republic of Zambia. I must mention that I am non-affiliated to any political party, just a concerned citizen. My intentions today is to contribute constructively to the legislative process by identifying potential risks and proposing solutions aimed at strengthening democratic governance and protecting the rights of all citizens. In this spirit, I wish to highlight specific clauses concerning the bills mentioned on the subject. Beginning with clause 9 and 18, these provisions introduce structural executive power changes that consolidate decision-making authority without adequate safeguards of parliamentary oversight. Such concentration of power risks weakening the checks and balances essential to constitutional democracy. I therefore propose that any delegated powers under these clauses are explicitly limited, transparent, and subject to independent judicial review. Furthermore, Clause 11 has expanded executive discretion without clearly defined limits. This could undermine institutional independence and reduce mandatory public participation by the citizens. To mitigate this, Clause 11 should include measurable legal criteria, mandatory parliamentary approval, and independent oversight mechanisms. Additionally, Clause 11E, it grants a broad, open-ended yes.
He said Clause 11E, but it's Clause 7E on the submission.
Additionally, to Clause 7E, grants a broad, open-ended regulatory authority. Such powers can lead to arbitrary or politically motivated administrative decisions. To address this, the clause should be clarified, tied to parliamentary scrutiny and turning to clauses 24. These provisions collectively modify oversight structures in ways that reduce transparency, weakening institutional independence, and limit citizens' recourse. I recommend restoring of judicial review, reinforcing institutional independence, mandating public consultations, and inserting accountability safeguards. In addition to these clauses, I also raise concerns regarding the delimitation process, which has not been transparently executed. This lacks openness and creates the risk of the executive interference, potential enabling of manipulation of constituency boundaries for political advantage, including securing a 2/3 majority in parliament. Such a scenario would directly undermine electoral fairness and sovereign powers of the citizens of the Republic of Zambia. Finally, I express concerns regarding the changes that were made to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, particularly the removal of a court's power to review ECZ's decision. These changes present a substantial risk to electoral integrity without court recourse, unlawful, biased, or procedurally unfair ECZ decisions could stand unchanged, creating opportunities for elections manipulation without election manipulation, administrative rigging. Finally, by addressing these concerns, spanning specific clauses, the delimitation process, and the ECZ oversight, my intention remains clear: to strengthen democratic governance, protect citizens' rights, ensure that no legal reforms undermines the constitutional principles that hold transparency and electoral fairness. Therefore, any legislative reform that alters the balance of powers between state organs therefore be approached with caution and without being reckless, in order to ensure that it does not compromise core principles that govern the standard. This submission is presented in good faith in support of strengthening democratic governance in Zambia. It is not in opposition to the government, but an appeal to uphold constitutional norms, human rights, and institutional integrity. Every Zambian has a responsibility to protect the values that hold our nations together. As the motto of our founding fathers, one Zambia, one nation. Let us celebrate the land we born. To the leaders of our nation, recommendable and great work in
just for guidance, submission, the third paragraph on page 2, you are saying, in addition to these clauses, I also raise concerns regarding the delimitation process which have not been transparently executed. So, which are we referring to? Because your statement is quite misleading.
Sorry, come again on the question.
Which delimitation process which has not been transparently executed? Which process are you referring to?
The process of coming up with the Bill 7, the delimitation process wasn't done effectively.
We witnessed delimitation process which has not been transparently executed. Delimitation of constituencies, you mean?
Correct, Your Chair, Your Honor.
Where has it not been done transparently? When was delimitation done?
It was never conducted, and then like personally, I follow these matters of politics, and then when
I think we need to move together. You are saying, you are raising concerns regarding a delimitation process which has not been transparently executed. Now, for guidance, there is no delimitation process that has occurred. So can we expunge that from your submission?
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
That whole paragraph, because delimitation is being proposed, so it has not including your delimitation concerns. So we will expunge that from your submission. You can continue.
Noted, Your Honor.
You are actually concluding. Please proceed.
You, the leaders of our nation, do a recommendable and great work into shaping our communities that we live in. As a citizen of the Republic of Zambia, I am grateful that you should know that your efforts are being recognized and appreciated. I trust that this committee will give this matter the objective and careful consideration it requires. I thank you for the opportunity you have offered me into submitting these observations and recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, witness. Witness, we thank you for submission. Your submission is clear, straight to the point, with the guidance given, and would like to take this opportunity to lift the immunity that was conferred on you, and wish you well, Mr. Ezekiel King Mwape, and just to put it on record that we do not take for granted your effort to make submissions as a concerned citizen of this country. This is part of the greater role we play in enhancing democracy. I thank you. We wish you well.
This is a Parliament television, and that was Mr. Ezekiel King Mwape, a private citizen who made a submission on the ongoing work by the Parliamentary Select Committee that has been appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. And submissions are still going on, both from members of Parliament and the private citizens. So we'll continue bringing to you live proceedings of the Parliamentary Select Committee meeting right there at the Wesley Renda Committee room. So we cross back to the committee room. Good.
Good evening, Mr. Mwenga. Welcome to the Select Committee. You can introduce yourself.
Okay. Okay, good evening. My name's Munguza Mwinga Aubrey. I live in Chongwe and I'm a farmer.
Okay, thank you.
I'm representing myself as a Zambian citizen. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mwinga. I'll allow honorable members to introduce themselves so that you know them. Honorable members.
Thank you, Chair. Witness, good evening. My name is Simon Banda, Member of Parliament for Petauke Central. Thank you.
Evening, Witness. I'm Jonathan Daka, Member of Parliament for Chadiza Constituency in Eastern Province. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Mr. Mwinga. George Kasabila Kandafula, Member of Parliament, Serenje. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mwinga. I am Sbongile Mwamba. I represent the people of Kasama Central Constituency. You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good evening, Witness. My name is Brian Kambita, Member of Parliament for Zambezi East Constituency in Northwestern Province.
Good evening, Mr. Mwinga. My name is Muvita Anakoka. I'm Member of Parliament for Luena Constituency in Western Province.
Thank you, Mr. Mwenga. Good evening. Mungandu Davison is my name. I represent the people of Chama South Constituency. You're welcome, sir.
Welcome, Mr. Mwenga. My name is Samakai Newton Mwinlonga.
Good evening, Mr. Mwinga. My name is Veso Sefuloka Koma. I'm a Member of Parliament for Mwandi Constituency in the Western Province and a member of the Select Committee. Thank you.
Mr. Mwenga, I'm Jacqueline Sabao, Member of Parliament for Jigankata Constituency. I'm the Vice Chairperson of this Select Committee. Mr. Mwenga, allow me to confer you with the immunity cap 12 of the laws of Zambia. This is the same law that protects members of Parliament for what they say while in the House. If you choose to mislead this committee, the same law will work against you in the court of law. So, Mr. Mwenga, you can do your submission. You go to the silent points of the bill.
I can go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, so there are just 3 areas of concern. And I think the first one that I'm looking at is the issue, I think in my writing, is the issue of the replacement of my Member of Parliament. This particular clause, I'm very uncomfortable with it because literally when I look at it, it takes away my power or my right.
Mr. Mwenga, order, speak to your submission. You read what you've submitted,
okay,
so that you're able to follow.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that this clause takes away my right and duty as a citizen to determine who represents me in Parliament and shifts that power to the political party to decide the representation for a constituency. Once my MP has fallen out with the party, it means that the political party will have a chance to impose an MP on me. The internal disagreements that the political party may have with my MP should not interfere with the relationship I have with my Member of Parliament. Once the seat of Member of Parliament falls vacant, I, the voter who voted for the Member of Parliament, must be allowed to fill up the vacancy. As I write in this, as I write this, my mind takes me to the unique one-party constitution change of 1972 and the South Africa's National Party Apartheid Act of 1948. Having lived during the remnant of the UNIP rule, and listening and reading to the horrors committed by the apartheid regime in South Africa makes me understand that these two regimes did not just wake up and become what they became. It was a steady process of trying to empower politicians with absolute power in decision making, and this clause is introducing that concept. That is in my opinion. This clause seeks to take us back to the one-party rule which we rejected some 30 years ago, that is in 1991. The second point is that I think it creates another lacuna. This clause creates a lacuna in the Constitution in the sense that our voting system emphasizing on voting for an individual and not the political party. If this was to work, it means that we must change our electoral system by introducing a system that votes for political parties who in turn must choose members of parliament for each constituency. It would be an inconsistent practice to have an MP voted by the people removed by the party and replaced by the party which did not vote for the MP but simply brought by the candidate to the electorates, which in turn ratified the proposal by voting for him. So in case there is a disagreement between the member of parliament and the sponsoring party, it is just lawful that we can get back to the electorates and bring another candidate whom, as electorates, we can choose to either accept or reject, and the party's choice, as has been the case with most by-elections. Political patronage and versus patriotism. The proposal starts creating an environment where MPs' loyalty will be to the party and not to the citizens that they are serving. In my opinion, it creates a system that alienates the political system from the general membership, and once this gap becomes apparent in parliament, we end up creating laws that force citizens to accept leaders that they do not like. Our current system places the responsibility of choosing members of parliament on ordinary citizens, which in my opinion has worked perfectly well, because members of parliament are directly accountable to the electorates and not the political party. My submission number 2. On this one, revise the electoral system. It's talking about the proportional representative. This particular clause has issues of implementation, as it does not put in place system of how these representatives will be selected. Leaving it open-ended leaves it vulnerable to manipulation, and this may only serve the political elite through political patronage. In essence, the clause wants to take us back to the one-party state of the UNIP era, which empowered UNIP to appoint politically connected persons to almost all positions, and business houses were not spared. We can argue to say it's working in South Africa, but you know that the indigenous South Africans, whatever I was trying to write, but do you know that the indigenous South Africans, the political systems, as I mentioned above, is different from ours, and in trying to introduce this clause, we open up the constitution to many challenges. And then my last submission, revise the composition of National Assembly to provide for increase in number of constituencies based on seats. So my submission is that we need the delimitation report publicized so that we can have constituencies that will stand the test of time. I've put that in inverted commas. Unlike a delimitation that is aligned to an election cycle, constituencies should be carefully demarcated the way provinces are demarcated, so that we are not subjected to political manipulation. I end there.
Thanks so much, Mr. Mwinga. Honorable members, Honorable Kakuwa. Oh, sorry. Honorable Kambita.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I just have one question about the perception that the witness seems to be creating before the committee. He has repeatedly mentioned about clauses that seek to take the style of governance to one-party system, and I don't seem to see that in the details of the bill in question. So where is he getting that? Because it is, as the witness is submitting now, it remains an illusion or a perception, because there's no suggestion of the bringing in a one-party state like he is talking about. How could he? Because we might take the whole day actually explaining the how, but in brief, let the witness demonstrate here that in the bill, from the bill, the objects of the bill or the details of the bill. that it's taking us to one-party state.
Honorable members, any other questions? Witness, you can respond to that question or clarification from Honorable Mbita.
Okay, so as I have alluded, it may not happen now, but it's a process that can begin now. So when I'm alluding to a one-party rule, I'm simply saying, look, if the political system is going to have so much influence on choosing who represents me in my own place, it simply means that we might as well take away that responsibility from myself. And I know we may not have that in the detail, but I'm thinking aloud. And maybe speculation may not be, but you know, they always say that perception is everything. You can have a very good point, but if the perception is not correct out there, it simply means that no matter how many times you can explain to someone, in my mind I'll be thinking, look, this is what we are trying to get to, this is what we are trying to. I end there.
Okay, Mr. Mwinga, maybe clarify on this one, the last paragraph of your submission, where you said, unlike delimitation that is aligned to elections. Are you saying this object of the bill on delimitation is aligned to elections?
In my opinion, I haven't really gotten into details, but the report, I think from what I've read, is that every 10 years, the Electoral Commission is supposed to submit a delimitation report. For me, in my opinion, is that we cannot continuously be splitting constituencies. Let's come to a point where we know to say, like the American system is, they already is it about 500 and whatever states, and for a very long period of time they've maintained that. It creates stability, it creates predictability, and a lot of good things. You know, this country, I'm enjoying the way this country is being run at the moment, because I can wake up, I'm a farmer, I can go to Soweto, sell my tomatoes, no one is going to harass me. If there's that predictability in our laws, then it simply means that someone, even 20 years, 40 years from now, when they say, I'm going to Zambia, they know I'm going to go to Mwandi constituency, I will still find Mwandi constituency. If 50 years from now I'm going to say, I'm going to Chikankata, I'll find Chikankata constituency. But a situation whereby 5 years later, you wake up at, I'm going to Sorweza, there's no Sorwezi. I mean, come on, we must be people that can be predictable for a longer period of time, so that even as people are starting off from wherever they are coming, they must know to say, okay, this is what is obtaining on the ground. I end.
Thanks so much, witness. Your submission will be considered in our report. We really appreciate your support. Thank you. I lift your immunity. You are free to go back home. I lift your immunity. You are free to go back home. Thank you.
Good evening, this is Parliament Television. We have just been listening to the submissions by Mr. Mangunza Obre Mwinga, a private citizen who was making his submission to the Parliamentary Select Committee that was appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. The interactions with the different stakeholders will still continue, and will still be bringing to you live the proceedings of these interactions as they go on. We cross back to the floor of the House.
witness Dr. Joseph Musanje appearing before this select committee with your team. Doc would like to know who you are moving with, and you are guided to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm Honorable Dr. Joseph S. Musanje, Member of Parliament for MBABALA constituency in Joma, Southern Province of Zambia, and also here at Parliament I chair a number of important caucuses, the Parliamentary Caucus on Children and the Parliamentary Caucus on Disability, Inclusion and Rights. So I'm wearing 3 hats for this presentation. I'm flanked here by citizens from MBABALA constituency. Mr. Alon Chileshe is a member of the community in MBABALA, and Mr. Twapegwa Kapeyo is also a member of the MBABALA community. They have been witnesses to my public consultation on Bill 7 in MBABALA constituency, and so they have come to witness our submission to prove as evidence that indeed the constituency supports Bill 7, and I am presenting also as an expert witness with over 30 years of experience in both child rights and the development sector, international development and local development, as well as disability. Thank you.
Witness, we thank you once more for appearing, and would like to take this opportunity to confer you with immunity as provided for under Cap 12. The same immunity you enjoy as you make your submissions on behalf of the people of MBABALA in the House is the same immunity you have here. Witness, you are guided to make your submissions. We need not to belabor in introductions, as you are familiar with the other honorable members, which are your colleagues. Honorable Dr. Musanje, you are free to make your submission.
Thank you very much, Chair, and much obliged. Thank you so much, honorable members of the committee. Chair, the people of MBABALA hereby appear in line with the government gazette that was published on Bill 7 and in line with the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. And the people of MBABALA wish to submit on the items that were in the gazette. One is the amendment to the number of MPs and delimitation or in the composition of National Assembly. And the people of MBABALA wish to submit that the constitutional provision that limits the members of Parliament to 156 constituencies and 116 councils be amended to allow this aspect to be open and to be utilized by government as and when need arises. Chair, the people of MBABALA right now are interested in, for example, MBABALA district, because the people of MBABALA do bear a huge expense, for example, going to Choma district offices, where they have to pay almost 300 kwacha for a trip to the center. And with delimitation, which will allow efficiency, it will allow the people of MBABALA to have their own district, which they can either walk to the council, the offices such as the DACO, where agricultural issues are dealt with, the courts and all that, and they can, or maybe those coming from far, can ride on a motorcycle or on a bicycle to these centers. So with Zambia implementing the devolution policy and decentralization, it is only fair that we support progressive clauses such as these that allow efficiency in the service delivery. And for that matter, Mr. Chair, the Constitution of Zambia under Article 5 and 6 mandates the Electoral Commission of Zambia to delimitate constituencies every 10 years or less. So this is already in the statutes, and therefore without delimitation it will be a violation of the Constitution. And it says this should be implemented at the end of a parliamentary sitting, such as the one we'll have in session that we'll have in May 2026. Therefore, if we miss this chance to do it now, it means the next delimitation will be after 2031, which will be a violation of the Constitution, and which will be completely out of context in terms of bring about business efficiency. The whole instance about government and representation is to bring about efficiency in service delivery and effectiveness, and that's why we want to have delimitation, so that there can be efficiency in constituency management and delivery of services, as well as efficiency in the districts for which as MBABALA we are interested in having MBABALA district, and also to having new polling stations that optimize people to encourage voting, because it's easier for one to go and vote if you are walking maybe 2 kilometers to the voting station, as opposed to 10-15 kilometers and the like, which is the case currently for some polling stations. So we do support this one. We move, Chair, to the second item on the electoral system reform. We find the introduction of the mixed member proportional representation as very representative and very progressive, because this is the case with many parliaments now around the world, and I've been lucky as a member of parliament, having traveled to a lot of countries around the world, and I found this system, Chairperson. And for example, the other year when we went to Tanzania, we interacted with a lot of female MPs, persons with disabilities, and we wondered, we asked them, how come you are so many of? And they said, no, we have this system which guarantees the seats. And so Zambia has been signing these international protocols, such as the SODO on the having women in leadership, such as the Convention on the Rights of the Child, such as the ones on the youth policies, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, UNCRPD. We are part to these conventions. We have domesticated them into some of our laws, but we have not been practical to bring about participation of these important marginalized groups. So, Chair, we support the inclusion of persons with disabilities. Even as Parliamentary Caucus on Disability, we would like to see persons with disabilities come into this chamber or into this house. And like you may have heard during the debate on the motion on albinism, we said they don't need to be represented. They need to come and speak for themselves on the floor of the House. So we want to support that as a caucus. So I wear that hat for this particular issue. And also for the women, we have been advocating on this, like I've mentioned variously, since 1995, Beijing, people went there. Zambia spent money. People went to Beijing, and we come back, and now a practical solution has been found to give women guaranteed seats. We need, Chair, a legal framework that protects the women, the persons with disabilities, and the youth to come to Parliament, including we launched a very good youth policy, but without adequate representation, that policy may not work to fruition. So we need to have this protection through the law, and not compare it. We should not compare this clause to cabinet, because cabinet is about the president given elected to deliver on a 5-year mandate, and he or she assembles a team of people they want to deliver with on that 5-year mandate. The People's House, Parliament here, must be the one to bring about representation for all. And therefore, we must put a legal framework that protects that those positions. So we support this as a progressive measure that we must continue to have. Chair, we also come to Article 52, 6 on fresh nominations after withdrawal or death of a member. Chair, on electoral procedures. This one was our observation. It was painful when we saw that twice in Lusaka Central and in Kawata by-elections there were withdrawals. And when those withdrawals happened, it was actually shocking to discover that after paying 15,000 for those candidates, they were required again to pay another 15,000. We found that as very unfair to say, how do you subject people? You know, it's not their offense. When one has withdrawn, it's not their offense that they should again go and pay another 15,000, you know, because they have to do fresh nominations. So a solution must be found to that, to the extent that those who haven't withdrawn should proceed, and they should not be punished to pay twice, because it can happen even to me in MBABALA. Somebody can file and withdraw, and I'll be made to pay in perpetuity. So that must be eradicated, Chair. And in the same manner, Chair, we also want to speak on the issue of the local government in terms of tenure for mayors and chairpersons. We believe this is a progressive clause to align it to the both presidential and member of parliament seats that are open currently to as long as the people, because democracy is about the people. So if the people want to elect somebody to continue as mayor or chairperson, let the people have their say. We should not limit what the people want. We do this for councillors, we do this for MPs, we do this for other positions. So let's allow this by removing the cap on 10 years. And so we want to submit like that, Chair. And then the last one, Chair, is on the definition of the child. Zambia did enact through this House the Child Code Act of 2022, number 12 of 2022. In there, we defined the child and aligned it to our constitution, and would like to maintain what is in the Child Code Act, because that is the best law we have come up with on domestication, in line with the Convention on the Rights of the Child. And as the Parliamentary Caucus on Children, as PCC, we want to support that alignment to the Child Code Act should stay in all our statutes on definition of a child, so that we do not miss it and we continue protecting the rights of the children. Finally, the last item, Chair, is the issue of finality finality of these cases. The issue of I'm trying to remember the clause, but it's basically related to finality of cases in the Constitutional Court and other courts, that when people go to court, you are going there to find a solution and not to tell stories. What happened in the past, where a case could not be determined because the people said 14 days has been reached and therefore you go home, we cannot hear your matter, Chair, was an abuse of the legal process by the people who have been empowered to help this country. Therefore, we would like this Bill 7 to address this matter and indicate that there should be finality or determination to such a matter, so much that such matters can be concluded and brought to a good conclusion. With this, Chair, the people of MBABALA do submit, and also the 2 caucuses that I chair at Parliament do submit on the issue of children and rights of persons with disabilities. I thank you.
Witness, we thank you for your submission. Honorable members, the submission is very clear. Yes, I see no need for interaction. Honorable Dr. Joseph Musanje, your proposals and your additional insights to what should constitute the bill are well understood and as clear as day. So in this regard, we would like to thank you for appearing before this select committee with the people of MBABALA accompanying you. We do not take this appearance for granted. It shows the specific importance you attach to the legislative process outside the main assembly. Honorable, we like to lift the immunity so that you continue enjoying the ordinary immunity and the parliamentary immunity which you already enjoy. We thank you most sincerely.
Chair, are we allowed to take pictures? So maybe I can ask my good friend there to...
Good evening, Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you. The Honorable Musanje, MBABALA constituency, accompanied by 2 members or residents of MBABALA constituency, making submissions to the Parliamentary Select Committee that has been appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 1995. Of this Parliamentary Select acting with a very... The last witness expected to appear before the committee and make a submission of justice. So keep watching Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you. Good evening.
My eParliament mobile application. My eParliament is a mobile application developed by the National Assembly of Zambia in order to bring Parliament closer to you. You can download and install My eParliament from App Store or Play Store. Once installed, you can raise your concerns, provide your input, opinion and feedback on various projects or decisions being made in your constituency. On My eParliament mobile application, you can listen to Parliament Radio. You will have access to parliamentary documents such as bills and acts which are considered in Parliament. You will also have access to National Assembly social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can also watch parliamentary debates live on our YouTube channel. Download My eParliament now. My eParliament, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Yo! 76 drums! bapepele la bapepele la tingapele le fepe so bapokele la mapalo bakale mbona nde wina every blow bapembele ba mwana kwati le sekala pamabo bakebo kishiwa tapela kumonendo CFO de mundu fo okende tentenga wapona teta kuseke ukukoseresha nangu kubesta obe milima kusepe you love you trap you but not patini kulusepe this boy this fly this year mo bakumbitiri chiteke kamapta kombidu mpashi mkati uleti mpamenga pakta pama nomba sensa yose yasa misani kusula mezu ya kumupashi destiny to yasani 76 from stretching a yusanim from point A to B, you feel it walk us up. Together playing a wake you me feel it yes what's up. Ni ask you we kill wewe wacha tekela masala bukani we jako papa. Wakufuka pano ponaska bingi batile pe chako papa. Ndipo kapano mole ngore ndiri netu pani kwati ni chakwa. About means na mafuta kono kuplanga. Kumbe tandi chako panga. Bakula tila wedi bawaki tata. Bakashtika bakula lumba mulandi wapitapa. Best mutalo tandinga ni wene mekaishtaka. Ipepo jabo jabu tibushku kumunga staka. Bakashtaka.